A two-day event is going to be commenced with an official lighting of the lamp as a symbol of our culture and tradition. A big round of applause. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Members of ITAP, startup buddies, members of press, ladies and gentlemen. So warm welcome. So a warm welcome each of you to the first edition of InfinityVizag 2023, the flagship event of the Information Technology Association of Andhra Pradesh. We call it as ITAP. And it has been a long and eventful journey of multiple other events to culminate into this flagship event. So thank you all for being here. So we have a fabulous gathering of industry legends and icons, leading entrepreneurs, poster boys of startups, academicians, legislators, policy makers, opinion makers, and corporate professionals. So over the next 2 days, InfinityVizag would focus on the technology, BPM, and startups. So this event is also a great opportunity for the compact yet vibrant IT industry in AP to connect deeper with the larger opportunities presented by these external stakeholders. The first day of the event will be focused on the core IT and startups, while the second day will focus on ITES and BPM. As we are all aware, currently Vizag is the leading BPM destination in Tier 2 cities of India, and AP is strongly positioned to build on it. However, AP has been the favorite recruiting ground over the last 2 decades, as clearly evident in the vast majority of India's IT talent at not just Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune, Chennai, Gurgaon, but also in the Silicon Valley, Toronto, Sydney, and other IT hotspots in the world. So even though the leading IT corporates may not have a very visible presence in AP, we hope this mystery should be resolved at the upcoming Global Partnership Summit that is happening on 3rd and 4th of March in Vizag by Govt of AP. I believe that going forward, innovation and the deep tech capabilities are going to drive the IT industry at large. So InfinityVizag IT Summit would focus on strengthening and standardizing the roadmap and to position the IT industry in AP. So at the forefront of innovation and deep tech domains like autonomous systems, AI, Industry 4.0 and Web 3.0, etc. So the 6 panels that have been specifically chosen to brainstorm in the direction. So that's why the panels will discuss on these topics. Like the topics that we are going to discuss: strategy to implement Industry 4.0 and emerging technologies. The future is AI-enabled autonomous systems. And in the startup levers of Indian startup ecosystem, Vizag Vantage. The zero trust strategies of the connected universe, that is in cybersecurity domain. The digitization imperative, and analytics or AI, the investment conundrum. So these are the 6 panels that we are going to discuss. So the distinguished panelists have been thoughtfully invited for each of these panels to bring out the deep and diverse aspects of each topic. So I urge you full attention to their conversations. So in a nutshell, the objective of this first edition of InfinityVizag are to discuss the strategy and roadmap for the growth of the IT and ITS industry and the startup and innovation ecosystem in AP. And so the network with various CXOs and senior technocrats of the industry, and to create the B2B networking opportunities for the companies of AP. So I am delighted that to encourage the industry in Andhra Pradesh, Meity and STPI leadership would present the first ever STPI annual awards as part of this inaugural to the IT-ITS industry in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Later in the day, STPI, APS and ITAB jointly would present startup awards to the AP-based startups. That's going to be mostly in the evening. And I'm also deeply grateful to STPI, so Government of Andhra Pradesh and their agencies CEPICA and APS for co-hosting this event to make this event grand successful. I'm privileged to have NASSCOM, Thai Andhra Pradesh chapter, AP Chambers, AHUB, and AP Startups, Hello Vizag, Apex and NKIDS as partners to the InfinityVizag event. It's long and intense day ahead of us. So let's start the InfinityVizag. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mr. Shri Alkesh Kumar. That was President ITAB. I'm Kirtana here from the Government of Andhra Pradesh IT Electronics and Communication Department. It's indeed a joy to be part of the department and proudly claim and invite Shri Saurabh Gaur IAS, an officer of the 2002 batch, who's currently the Secretary to Information Technology, Electronics and Communication Department, Principal Secretary Real-Time Governance and Skill Development and Training Department. He is the author of the first PLI scheme for mobile manufacturing. I think we need to give him the credits on that. And also the first CEO of Semicon Mission in India.
Thank you so much, Kirtana, for that rather flattering welcome. Chief guest of the occasion, Secretary Meity, Shri Alkesh Kumar Sharma, Honorable Member of Parliament, Gaur, industry veteran and someone who all of us look up to, Bigger Mohan, Gaur, Atlane, DGSTPI, a good friend of mine, Arvind Kumarji, Ram Prasadji, IT advisor to Government of Andhra Pradesh, Vidyasagar Garu, Chandrahas Garu, other advisor, organizers, Mukhyanga, Shri Alkesh Garu, and all the friends from IT community and ITAP. A very warm welcome to all of you to the first edition of InfinityVizag. It is a matter of great pride for us in Government of Andhra Pradesh also to be associated with such a landmark event, which we hope will develop into a marquee event for all the ITS professionals, and not just ITS, but for all the technology professionals in Andhra Pradesh. I wish the event a grand success. There is a huge lineup of the sessions that have been put up. But it is my duty, without taking much of a time, it is my duty to convey to you some of the initiatives that Government of Andhra Pradesh under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister has been taking to develop the sector in particular and industry in general in Andhra Pradesh. And I'll broadly divide my address into three parts: where we are, what do we aspire to be, and how are we going to do that. We are all aware that Andhra Pradesh and both the Telugu states put together actually contribute almost 25 to 30% of the IT workforce, the Indian origin IT workforce in Silicon Valley. Andhra Pradesh today produces 2.5 lakh engineers every year. One may say that they might be a little bit undercooked, but they are full of energy, and they are the ones who give us lot of confidence in terms of making Andhra Pradesh the top destination for IT industry. Andhra Pradesh is also among the leading states in adoption of digital platforms. Today our social welfare platform, Navaratnalu program, we are among the biggest direct benefit transfer doing states in the country. Every single penny that goes from government exchequer goes through Aadhaar-enabled direct benefit transfer-based payment system. So it has enabled huge transparency and ensured that every penny goes to every rupee, every paisa goes to the correct beneficiary. Andhra Pradesh, apart from making its mark as a welfare state, some of you might not be knowing, but it has been the top FDI attracting destination in the country. And that is acknowledged. That is not something that we are patting ourselves on the back. It is something that the DPIIT, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Government of India, its report says. The report from DPIIT and World Bank also says that Andhra Pradesh is the top destination. It is the #1 state in ease of doing business in the entire country. And not just this year. It has been the #1 state for 3 years in last 4 years. So this is all testimonial to the fact that Andhra Pradesh is under the leadership of the government, all of us are committed to make it a very investor-friendly state. Now, what do we aspire to be? In the collaterals that were being played as a run-up to the opening inauguration ceremony, you would have seen that 25% of mobile phone manufacturing in the country today happens in Andhra Pradesh, most notably in Tirupati and in Sri City. So we have companies such as for the Reliance 5G phones, 4G phones, they are being made here. We have some of the Chinese companies making phones here through Foxconn subsidiary, and so on and so forth. We are looking at more and more companies coming, and Tirupati becoming our main place for ESDM manufacturing, electronic system design manufacturing sector. We are also looking at, for drone sector, Anantapur becoming the place where we will be offering incentives, policy support and other support to the companies which are into drones and robotics. I would through this platform, I would request Mohan, who has been guiding us in so many things, for defense and aerospace also. Sir, we would request that side your company and otherwise also you as an industry veteran, please help us in developing defense and aerospace. We are in close collaboration with NSTL here and naval establishments here in terms of setting up some of those initiatives here. Apart from that, we are looking at establishment of centers of excellence. We already have a center of excellence by STPI that is being set up in IoT technologies with RVNL, I'm sorry. Similarly, NASCOM also has set up a center of excellence in AIML and IoT in Vizag. We have Andhra Pradesh Innovation Society, which is a network of 26 different incubators across the state and 532 deep tech startups getting connected through that. But we are going to set up centers of excellence in green energy, in energy storage, and in AR/VR and metaverse, because we see these three areas as top areas of growth, which are great opportunities for the future. Now, finally, how are we going to do that? So, while I've talked about Tirupati, Vizag is our place unequivocally for promotion of IT, ITS, and digital products. And that is where we look at establishing brand Vizag and brand Andhra Pradesh by strengthening brand Vizag and saying that we will go all out in terms of promoting Visakhapatnam. I'm not at the liberty to disclose some of the things that will be happening, but you'll see them getting rolled out in very short span of time. But we have already 2.5 lakh square feet of bed space available in Visakhapatnam. We have 4 centers such as the AP Innovation Society Valley, APIS, and hill number 4. Similarly, we have those spaces available in Tirupati. We have shown you the IIT video, Institute of Design Technologies for semiconductor design. Similarly, we have in Kakinada and in Vijayawada also. We are coming out with specific policy support with the crowd policy, which will be in tune with what Government of India is doing, the data center policy, the semiconductor policy, and the drone policy. So these are the 4 policies that will be coming out very soon, in addition to the existing policies that we have for IT and electronics, and which have actually invited lots of investments. So we look forward to collaboration, and that is where we look at ITAP as a strong partner for us in terms of promoting brand Vizag and doing it together. We welcome all the digital nomads also, companies that have virtually gone now today remote, to get incubated here or set up presence here in Visakhapatnam, and we'll have schemes to support the work from home and work from anywhere also. So with this, I'm sorry I've taken a bit more time than I was expected to, but I thought it was my duty to tell you about the tremendous opportunities that lie ahead of us. We welcome all of you to the Global Investment Summit that is going to be held again in this beautiful beach city of Visakhapatnam on 2nd and 3rd March 2023, so another month and a half from here, where we'll expect to see lot of vitality and lot of interactions coming. I would at the end also introduce Group CEO from EPITA, Mr. Kiran, if you can kindly get up. So Kiran is going to be the point of contact from our side for investor contact. Apart from that, there is a huge team that works with Invest India and does IT, ITS promotion apart from the Economic Development Board that does overall industry promotion. So with this, I thank the organizers once more for organizing this landmark event, and more power to all of you. Thank you so much, Jai.
Thank you so much, Mr. Saurabh Gaur, sir. I now request Shri Arvind Kumar, Director General STPI, Government of India, to give an address to the gathering here.
Good morning. Honorable Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Shri Alkesh Kumar Sharma ji. Honorable MP, Shri GVL Narasimha Rao ji. Principal Secretary to IT ENC Department, Government of BP, Shri Gaur ji. Founder, signed Shri Dr. BB Mohan Reddy ji. IT Advisor, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Shri J. Vidyasagar ji. And ITAP President, Shri Sridhar Kotraj ji. Veteran of the industry, experts, innovators, and ladies and gentlemen. It's my proud privilege and great honor to co-host this event at Vizag. On behalf of Software Technology Parks of India, I welcome chief guest, all guests sitting on the dais, off the dais, all experts, media, and everyone. So I'll start with Saurabh Gaur. I don't know how many people knows him, but he has been one of the pillar of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and he is instrumental for many policy which today you can see, whether it is a PLI scheme, which is most successful scheme of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. He is instrumental to semicon policy, which is going nowadays. So he has been you all are very lucky to have Saurabh Gaur as a secretary in Government of Andhra Pradesh. Second, I will also tell one secret to all of you that everybody is saying this is first ITAP, and you will feel proud maybe 5 years, 6 years down the line that you have witnessed that first ITAP, because after 5 to 6 years there may be world largest event in the Visakhapatnam. The kind of passion I have seen in your MP, the kind of passion I have seen in the other dignitaries, in my director who is responsible for this very place, I am sure that this is going to happen. There is no far that Visakhapatnam will become an IT destination for this country, and it will emerge one of the most important emerging city in this country. I will say 2-3 things and how under the guidance of our secretary, STPI is working for those 2-3 goals. I have noted 3 important development in this country. One is that now startups in this country are focusing on deep technology, which was never the case. Generally, startups were shying away in the deep technologies. Now this is one change which I am observing. Second change, now the developments is coming from new cities. You can say emerging cities. When I used to call tier 2, tier 3 cities, then people like you feel little offensive. So I am saying these are the emerging cities, these are the new cities. So the second trend, now development is coming from the tier 2, tier 3 cities. And third change which you can notice about the manufacturing. Now government is going big way. All government focus is in the manufacturing. Government has clearly understood whole supply chain, whole value chain of the manufacturing, which is, whether it is a semiconductor devices, whether it is a design link scheme, whether it is a PLI, everything is focused on the manufacturing. So these 3 big changes, and how as STPI we are going to contribute in these 3 things, just I will introduce to yourselves. First is about the deep technology. STPI has created 20 Center for Entrepreneurship in this country. And those Center for Entrepreneurships are not for basic research. These are not for applied research. These are for translational research. You have the idea, commercialize it, convert into product. This is all about entrepreneurship. And all Center for Entrepreneurships are domain specific. So if you want to work, you have a startup, let us say automation and automobiles. We have a startup COE at Pune. If you want to do something in Industry 4.0, we have here at Visakhapatnam along with the RINL, which has been already introduced by Shri Saurabh. So all are domain specific. If you want to work in AR/VR, and there is the advantage of domain specific. All over the world we have seen number of incubation systems are being created, number of incubators are working for the startup. But the basic issue is when you have general COE, General Center for Entrepreneurship, you can't create a lab which can cater all startups requirement. That is the point. We have thought that yes, we should have a Center for Entrepreneurship which are domain specific. So we are creating, let us say, lab at Visakhapatnam with RINL, which is focused on Industry 4.0. So that means it will have all equipment which is required to develop IoT for the Industry 4.0 in this country. Similarly, when it comes to AR/VR, we are going to have the lab. We already have one lab there at Hyderabad, where we are going to develop Center for Entrepreneurship for AR/VR. Similarly, if you go by gaming, we are going to have even at the Northeast, Aizawl, Shillong, everywhere. So in this manner, we have now 20 Center for Entrepreneurship all across the country. This RINL was the 21st. And in this manner, we are contributing as the STPI on the development of deep technologies, deep techs of the startup in this country. This is our contribution to point number 1, which I have told. Number 2, as I said, now development is coming from tier 2, tier 3 cities. So for your fun information, we have 63 centers across the country. And out of 63 centers, 55 centers are in emerging cities, new cities, or tier 2, tier 3 cities. Those 55 centers, we are witnessing a lot of enthusiasm among the people, and they are coming to those centers, they are taking incubation space, and they are doing lot of developments there. And out of those 55s, we have 4 in your state, which is at Andhra Pradesh. In this manner, point 2, we are contributing, we have incubation space across the country. Any new guy, any new entrepreneur, if they want to do something, they want incubation space, we are providing incubation space across the country. And the 4 places are in the Andhra Pradesh. Third is about the manufacturing. Yes, as I told, government has multiple plans, big plan for manufacturing to boost manufacturing in this country. And we have got one project approved for this state, which is EMC project, where we are going to develop a cluster for electronics manufacturing. These are 3 important points, and I told under the guidance of Shri Alkesh Kumar, who is the chief guest of today, we are going to contribute to this state and as well as for this country. With this, I wish all the best for this event. I am sure that 2 days will be very power-packed event for all of you. All the best. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming to this event.
For InfinityVizag to partner with STPI for this edition, and we look forward to a continued support as we go for the next few editions to go. In this moment, I request Shri GVL Narasimha Rao Garu, Honorable MP, a man of the land, to come and give a speech as a guest of honor.
Chief guest of today's function, Shri Alkesh Sharma ji, Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, NASCOM past chairman, Mohan Rao Garu, other dignitaries on the dais, Saurabh ji, Sridhar Garu, Arvind Garu, and all others on the dais and off the dais. These are not usually the kind of summits that MPs or MPs go to, because ministers do attend such conferences because it's a part of their administrative mandate. I am here for a particular purpose. Whatever all of us might say from this dais, the reality is that IT today is non-existent in the state of Andhra Pradesh. I'm not sounding negative. I'm only wanting to place facts so we understand where we are and what is the path, what is the journey that we need to traverse to achieve our goal. The goal is we all are committed. Myself, all of you, government, everybody is committed to seeing Andhra Pradesh emerge as an IT leader. But we all must remember, Andhra Pradesh is not what Andhra Pradesh was before 2014. Today, Andhra Pradesh means Andhra Pradesh post-bifurcation. So we cannot still depend or rely on the laurels of the past. We need to focus on bringing IT and making Vizag a top IT destination in the country. We cannot simply say Telugu people, Telugu states. No, we are a different state today. And IT manpower is the biggest and the best human resource that you have in this state even today. Only people going from Andhra Pradesh contribute to more than 10% of IT manpower in the country today, which is more than 5 to 7 lakh people in an employee or in a human resource base of 51 lakh people as per NASSCOM estimate. More than 5 lakh are only from Andhra Pradesh, maybe about 7 lakhs. But we account for a very insignificant portion because as a United States, the whole development was focused or concentrated in the city of Hyderabad. It was not just about IT. Every other development was concentrated in Hyderabad. And instead of going into the historical blunders committed, what are we doing today to develop Andhra Pradesh as a top IT destination? Vizag as a top IT destination. There are a number of institutions that can help foster this growth, that can speed up this growth. For example, STPI Incubation Center. We are operating at a very primitive, at a very marginal level. There is a scope to have a big IT incubation center established. Are we doing enough? Can we not speed up these things? It requires only some kind of a leadership. I'm sure the state leadership also wants to ensure that we create jobs. We can create 3-4 lakh jobs in Andhra Pradesh itself in not more than 3-4 years if we really focus on this. So, as I said, I don't want to sound negative, but I want the message to get across. Hyderabad doesn't belong to Andhra Pradesh. And there is a need also, to Honorable Secretary, I would like to say, there is a need to even decongest IT growth in this country. Why should it be concentrated in only 2-3 cities? Go to Bangalore, talk to people. Go to Hyderabad, talk to people. It's brimming at the infrastructure is really not able to accommodate more growth. Costs have gone up in South Bangalore. It's become, living conditions are so bad. I talk to so many people who go from Vizag or many other cities to Bangalore and Hyderabad. And there is a myth here. Some people here in the industry initially told me that a lot of people don't want to work here because they are happy working in Bangalore, Hyderabad. No, sir. That's completely wrong. Every person from Vijayawada, Vizag, Rajahmundry who goes and works in Bangalore or Hyderabad, they tell me, sir, we would jump at an opportunity to work in Vizag, Rajahmundry, Vijayawada, wherever an opportunity exists. So I think we are missing a golden opportunity because in the next 4 years, the IT industry is going to hire another 45 lakh people, from 51 lakhs to 95 lakhs. Why don't we grab that opportunity? Why don't we create that ecosystem to ensure that the new jobs go to people from this region who are endowed with the right technical skills? And why don't we encourage companies to come and set up jobs here, set up employment here? There cannot be a better place on earth than Vizag. Let me tell you this. There cannot be a better place. I have also been to San Francisco, many other cities in California, and Vizag will certainly, you bring them here, next time they will tell you, I will give you a project if you are located in Vizag. Because your international client would want to travel to Vizag rather than go to many other cities. So my submission here, I'm at the start of this debate, I want to provoke, and I want to see that some critical solutions or guidelines or a framework emerges at the end of this meeting, whereby we commit ourselves to doing A, B, C, D, E, F. The way it exists today, I'm not really very hopeful that a lot of people will flock to Vizag. We have to make it appealing. We have to tell people why they should come to Vizag. So I think this is the right platform for us to really brainstorm and come up with these ideas so that we can all feel happy about ourselves being public representatives, administrators, or governments, and we all owe it to the young people of this state, young people of this region. We need to bring jobs to them rather than be just a body shopping state for the rest of the world. Thank you.
Speech, I think you set the tone and gave us a lot of thoughts to ponder, sir, and bring us back to reality and make us as ambassadors for the state. With this note, I request Padma Shri Dr. VVR Mohan Reddy Garu, Founder, Chairman, Science, to come and address the gathering.
Mr. Alkesh Kumar Sharma, Mr. GVL Narasimha Garu, Mr. Arvind Kumar, Mr. Saurabh Gaur, several other dignitaries on the dais, several dignitaries off the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you. At the outset, let me congratulate ITES, Association of Andhra Pradesh and SPPI for creating this event, because my belief is several of these events certainly will culminate in making sure we all get some inputs on the way forward. When the organizers sent me a note in participating in this event, the brief to me was, how do we make Vizag the IT destination? I have three thoughts, all right. Before I get there, let me contextualize what is the situation today. In 1991, STPIs was started, I'm sure Mr. Arvind Kumar is aware of it. The then Secretary, Mr. N. and the rest of the team were involved in creating this outstanding initiative called STPI. And in those initial years, people like me also went around the world in terms of talking about what we used to call it as recreating Silicon Valley. So if you go back and look at the attributes of what Silicon Valley brought to the world, some of them are God-made, some of them were man-made. God-made was the weather. We can't bring that weather across, it's not in our hands. But the valley brought in several things which were man-made. In terms of education, the best of education was available, continues to be available in the valley, whether it's Stanford or the University of California, Berkeley system. Or it is the venture capitalists. Or, which I actually shared with the ambassador of US in the recent past, the ability to attract talent from everywhere else in the world. You'd be surprised, there are 638 unicorns in US as we speak today. 80% of those unicorn companies are either headed by, founded by, or have senior leadership who are immigrants. So the ability to attract talent from outside made that big difference. Notwithstanding the fact that you need physical infrastructure, you need the software infrastructure, and you need to make sure that people enjoy the whole environment. The software infrastructure, people like me struggle to get, entertainment, or it's the pub culture that has to come by, or it was the places that people can spend over the weekends. So those things in terms of physical infrastructure, the software infrastructure, has now become hygiene factors. They're a must. Well, I'll come to therefore what we require to do, but before I get there again. But in the last 30 plus years, I've seen tremendous amount of change that has happened. The first and the foremost is technology is eating every industry. Emphasizing it, technology is eating every industry, that it cannot be now challenged. You can name an industry, I'll say the technology play associated with it. At a very large context, if you look at it, in 2006, the 5 largest publicly traded companies in US had only one company which was a technology company, and that was Microsoft. Otherwise, it was the Exxons or the Totals. These were the companies which were the top 5. Fast forward 15 years, 2021, look at what the top 5 companies in terms of market cap around the world. All 5 are technology companies. So therefore, every industry has, why is that the technology companies have taken such a leap forward? Is because that every industry is using technology at this point of time. The second one that we do see is the pace of absorption of technology has increased very rapidly. It took 105 years for electricity to percolate to 92% of the population of the world. It took 15 years for internet to percolate to 82% of the world. That's the pace at which technology is accelerating itself. A third one that we are also seeing at this point of time is adoption of technology by consumer is also at a pace which has never been experienced before. A good example is you look at WhatsApp at this point of time. 600 million users. How many years did they take? They took 4 years. It's not a business, it's a consumer who's using technology at this point of time. So I can go on with a number of my favorite examples that I have, but primarily I'm establishing at this juncture that technology is all over the place. And it is not going to slow down. Gordon Moore in 1976 came out with this law saying that the amount of wafer on a chip can double itself every 18 months. It will become faster by twice. It will become half in terms of price, half in terms of size. Actually, when people revisited him in 2021, they said, he's for checking out whether Gordon Moore was right or wrong. But honestly, what was translating now is he was wrong, because it's not taking 18 months. It's taking less than 18 months for technology to progress at the pace at which that he talked about. So what we are seeing is, right now, I'm sure Mr. Saurabh Gaur is writing the policy on semiconductor. People like me were giving examples like, right now the chip wafer thickness can go down to 50 nanometers. People are saying, no, Mohan, you're already outdated. They're down to about 4 nanometers. They can get down to a few experimental chips which are going at 1 nanometer. So the end result is that, and what I said earlier too, that this technology is being absorbed by every industry. You can, you can name them, whether it's agriculture, it is logistics, it's education, it is healthcare. So I think, what we should focus on is technology. And if you ask me, Mr. Reddy, where are you focusing on? We just wrote a report in the recent past. It's the company's report, but it's a public domain information. We think the future lies in intelligent mobility, in digital healthcare, in Industry 4.0 and smart manufacturing. And two others, sustainability, and finally on the space systems. So having said that, this is the progress that we're saying, so what are the suggestions I have for all of you? Number one is, this is technology world. We need our education systems to be strengthened. We can tell people that we have 368 engineering colleges. Our good friends can tell me that we produce 15 lakh engineers every year. I've done enough of work in the area. I wrote reports for the government. I feel very disappointed because at the end of it, if you take tests, we are saying 2% of people are eligible, are ready for doing product development. The future is not going to be services. The future is going to be products. The future is going to be solutions. We've seen this transformation in the last 32 years. That is, it's not body shopping which we started off. Actually, I belong to a generation where people said, give us warm bodies. Where are we today? People are saying, give me solutions. Which means that, we need to, I think, Shri Alkesh Kumar talked about it, deep technology. That's what we said. I think it's deep technology that has to go by. And which deep technology doesn't come from thin air. It has to be taught in the classroom. Are we doing that sufficiently? If we can strengthen our education system, I think it will go a long way. The second one that I'll spend more time when I do my keynote later in the morning, I believe, is that this should lead into, it's not going to be jobs will be created, the intensity with which Narasimha talked about. 45 lakh jobs will be created according to NASSCOM report. But these jobs, trust me, will not be created by large existing companies. The jobs will be created only by the startups. So therefore, the focus has to be moving away from seeking jobs to becoming job creators. So that ecosystem of saying that, look, I talked about deep technology, which is leading me into innovation into incubation, into entrepreneurship, is, I think, the key challenge for us as we move forward. So that's my second suggestion. Can we focus on entrepreneurship? My third suggestion, which I think Mr. Arvind Kumar also talked about it earlier, sorry, I'm repeating that, is that I think we believe that there's very little gap between hardware and software. They're so interested. There's no way that I can say that, look, I'm a software company or a hardware company. I'm primarily saying I'm a solution company. What does my customer require? He has a problem, he requires a solution. Don't tell him that I'll give you hardware, somebody will give you software. No, it doesn't work. And what we have seen, therefore, is there's a recent report of Merrill Lynch, which said India has proved itself to be the office of the world, and there's no questions asked. That's the back office of the world. What India has to prove in this decade, which we are talking as a tech aid, is two things. Number one is it has to become the manufacturing hub, and also it has to become the knowledge hub for the world. So I'll leave these thoughts with you. I'm sure you have deliberations to go on for the next couple of days, today and tomorrow. And I'll talk more about entrepreneurship. I made my segue into entrepreneurship right now. So have good deliberations and all the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I now request the chief guest of the day, Shri Alkesh Kumar Sharma IAS, Secretary Meity, Government of India, to give his chief address.
My dear friend and Honorable MP, GVL Narasimha, Mr. Mohan Reddy, Saurabh, Gaur, STPIDG, Mr. Arvind, friends on the dais, off the dais, ladies and gentlemen. I think it is a matter of great privilege for me to be here this morning, and having listened to all eminent speakers before me, I thought they have done my job. So I can come and happily go to the beach and spend some time, with INS Kakinada, but then since having been invited here, so I thought I must say something. Now, having come, there could not be any more appropriate occasion than what we have today when we are hosting this InfinityVizag. I think this is amazing time when we have just been to Davos, and you would have seen in the news the way India has been shining. I think that has been the news all along in Davos. While our competitors, our neighbors, were not seen anywhere. I think this is the message which India has sent to the world, that yes, that this decade is India's decade, and the India's technology drivers, the India's human resource, the India's new tech leaders who are sitting here in front of us, you will be driving India's next decade, and that will be India's decade. As Prime Minister has said in the last Digital India conference, that data, public digital platforms, technology, that is going to drive India's future, and you are India's future. I think that is where we should begin with. I would like to congratulate both STPI and ITAP for organizing this event while we are celebrating 72 years of India's independence. I think there cannot be more important occasion. India's technology sector has really leapfrogged in last couple of years. If we see the development which have happened after Digital India program in 2014, the kind of public digital platform, the kind of software solutions India has developed, that has been amazing. Now what we are looking at? We are looking at India in next 5 years, by 2026, India has to be a 5 trillion economy. We should be among the top 3 or 4 in the world. We are already among the top 5 in the world. 1 trillion of that. There was a time when IT's contribution in India's GDP used to be hardly 2%, 3%, 4%. But now the target is that we must achieve 20% of India's GDP. That is $1 trillion GDP in next 5 years. And it will come from all the 3 components of digital economy, whether it is IT-enabled services, which will contribute almost 1/3 of the total. We have the manufacturing sector, which is going to contribute another 1/3, and then of course a lot of online services, digital payments, e-commerce, that's going to contribute to another 30%. We have become a destination, we have been known as a well-known destination to top global IT outsourcing. We accounted almost 56% of global outsourcing. Almost any, you talk about any Fortune 500 companies in the world, and you will find something happening in India as their back office. I think the time has come that we should move away from services, and it has been mentioned, we have to become a product nation. There were times when we have been giving services, we have been giving simple solutions. We have to move on to the next level where we should create an enterprise architecture. We should move to the next level where we should create ecosystem architectures. India is a huge country. We have a set of humongous data sets, and artificial intelligence, machine learning, IT-enabled services, IoT. I think these are the new generation, immersive technologies, Web3. These are the new technology of the future, and each one of us have to work towards creating new set of enterprises. We have been a startup nation. Did anybody think when we launched, I was part of that event in 2015, when a startup was launched, a startup mission was launched, program was launched by Honorable Prime Minister in 2015. We had hardly any, you could count a number of startups. We were actually struggling to find out who should be there on the stage. Who can talk about startups with the Prime Minister. We were able to find a few. But today, we are the 3rd largest startup ecosystem in the world. With 80,000 plus startups, 107 unicorns. Every month we are creating 1, 2 to 3 unicorns. I mean, that is the value of India as a startup. $341 billion US. That is the value of startups in India today. Not only that, we had the election in Japan, in Tokyo, the Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence. It's a consortium of top 25 IT nations in the world. We contested. India was Out of 25, 23 votes went in favor of India, and India became the global chair of Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence. We will be chair of the world for next 2 to 3 years. And that is where we are going to showcase India's startup initiative, India's innovation capabilities. I think that is where we all have to work, we all have to move on to the next level. You are all the future. While Meity has started a lot of activities on promoting technology, innovation, startups, and creating intellectual properties, I think the focus should be on from the service startups. So now we have to move on to the next level where we have to look at deep tech startups. I know they have their own challenges. You need to have a lot of patience. You need a lot of time, long gestation periods. Maybe a lot more funding is needed, but government is committed. We have come out with a new scheme, Genesis. We'll be launching where we are giving end-to-end support, right from ideation up to acceleration and productization to each one of the startups. We would like each one of you to be partner in that. We'll be giving full support. I think you should all become part of that. While Government of Andhra Pradesh has taken a lot of initiatives in the last couple of years, we have given you one of our best assets. I think you can't expect anyone better than Saurabh, who has been part of us. So I think we have deputed him. In fact, I wanted him to be back in Delhi, but then his destiny was in Andhra Pradesh. So he has come back. I think he is going to drive AP's electronics and IT system in next couple of years. We see Vizag becoming a new destination. It's no longer a tier 2 or tier 3 city. I think it will be a shining star on the global IT network and the global IT hub. The kind of activities that are happening, the kind of center of entrepreneurship, the kind of center of excellence that are being set up in Andhra Pradesh Innovation Hub. Meity has started a lot more activities. Vizag is closely working with us. Other technology institutions. So there's a lot of system. There's a good ecosystem in Vizag. You have space, you have utilities, you have talent, you have manpower. I think that is what makes a complete ecosystem. And you have an enabling system, Government of India is committing full support. Honorable MP is here. He has half of his mind while he would have been elected from Uttar Pradesh, but his mind is always, and then when he comes to me and he always tells me, let's do something for AP, let's do something for Vizag. I think while Singhachalam is sitting on top of the hill, but we have another Narsingha sitting here. So we need his support and his blessing to ensure that Vizag become the destination of future. I wish each one of you, both Government of Andhra Pradesh, STPI and the team, we assure you that Government of India will give full support in all initiatives which either the state government takes or STPI takes, or any one of you who wants to build IT, strong IT, stronger IT, strongest IT, will support, will give you all support. With this, I wish this conference all success, and I am sure at the end of the day, we would also get good suggestions from you which we could take into our policies and in our initiatives in Government of India. I would not like to talk about a lot of things happening in Government of India, whether it is on the digital public law, on the non-personal law, on online gaming. There is a lot of policy reforms on data center policy. I think a lot is happening. IT is a happening place, and you all should become a partner to that. And I will be happy to take your feedback after 2 days deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It is that moment right now that we have men of honor on the dais to honor and award the IT pioneers who have emerged from the land. It is that moment where STPI has come up with an award ceremony, where STPI has